All right, guys, welcome back. Before we jump in, yes, the title is a little bit clickbaity. I am not an AI engineer by trade. Somebody hire me, please. However, I have a degree in data science. I've taken advanced courses in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and natural language processing. And I've built AI models, predictive models of all kinds, neural networks and stuff from scratch. So I have a bit of a technical background there. On top of that, I've been playing the game for a decade. So I think between my experience as a player and my technical background, I do have kind of a unique perspective on this AI 2.0. And I think there's actually a lot here that players might not realize. Right, so let's jump over to the dev diary. Now, first let's talk about the current state of AI. Basically, it functions as a totally random number generator, throwing out random moves every frame of the game where it's not currently doing something, and it's totally random. So this means that there aren't any behaviors that are just programmed. It's all completely random and importantly, frame perfect. So if you ever get light intercepted, sometimes it can feel unfair because the AI doesn't have any reaction time. It just like immediately will go into its next move. And you can see this from the previous dev diary about AI here, where you see it has, this is the player here, and this is the AI. Actually, these might even be two AIs, so it doesn't matter. But here you can see the inputs that are being made as it goes in. And these are just stacked commands, stacked inputs, if you will, for the AI, and it is completely just throwing out random garbage, which works fine-ish. I mean, it's worked for the last 10 years, right? But it doesn't let the game designers change the AI in any meaningful way very easily. You can like throw different percentage chances for whatever moves to be thrown, but it's not like a sequence of events. It's just complete random numbers, basically. And that's what they are trying to change. So here they say they're making a perception system, which is the most important thing they can do. It's basically impossible to make a AI model without some kind of data being thrown into it. And currently the AI, it doesn't know anything. It just knows what action it's like currently doing, and that's basically it. Here they specifically mention a Markov chain, which Markov models are what large language models are based on. I mean, it's like a ChatGPT or whatever is going to be a extremely complicated version of a Markov chain. Kind of. It's a little more complicated than that. But basically it's fed this data, and it will make adjustments to its moves based on what its previous actions were, and it can go back however far they want it to, and they can also program specific actions using this kind of model. Importantly too, I don't know if they have any intentions of doing this, but this does also mean that they could pull player inputs and potentially essentially make a generative AI model that will base its actions on what players do. And they could even go as far as to make easy, medium, and hard AI just by using, you know, low skill players versus high skill players. Like you could, it'd be very silly, but you could potentially make a AI that's based on like MSD or whatever. I don't know for sure they can do that, but without this perception system, they definitely couldn't. So this kind of gives them a whole new layer to work with. And especially as you go down into this memory system, they talk about how it can kind of keep track of the fights, what's happened before, and kind of use all of that data to influence what it does next. Here you can see they have this AI logic blocks thing, which says they can specifically code behaviors which they couldn't do before. This could potentially be pretty dangerous. They could, for example, say after parrying, they could do a medium attack, 3 light attacks, a medium attack, and then a special attack, and it would not feel very good if every single time you accidentally get parried in war, you eat a 5-hit combo and then a special one to the face. But them being able to make these logic blocks also enables them to sort of prevent them from happening. They show here this bot is programmed to do a dex, basically every single time it sees the player doing an attack, which, as they say here, not something they intend to include in the game-wide AI. But and you wouldn't want it to, but having this capability allows them to sort of build a model that doesn't do it, or does it a certain percentage of time or whatever, which again could mean you can make easy, hard, medium levels of AI that feel more real, if that makes sense, as compared to just throwing out random garbage. They mention specifically here this, they can't just tell the AI to light intercept the attacker less, because it doesn't know what a light intercept is. With this whole perception and memory system and logic blocks stuff, it will allow them to say, hey, we don't want you to do this so much because it feels unfair. And the AI will be able to theoretically do that less. Now, I don't know for sure how well this is gonna go. I have no inside information on any of this, but it at least allows for the potential for this to happen, whereas that wasn't there before. All right, and finally here they have this what's next category where they kind of talk about the future of what this AI 2.0 is going to look like, and all of this seems pretty good to me. It says they're getting to a point where they can do sort of a playtest on AI 2.0, which obviously we want them doing as much playtesting as we can with something as I mean, we always want them to do as much playtesting as they can, but especially with something as impactful as the AI, because it's so core to the game. You encounter it in every single fight that you play, and yeah, if they're getting to that point, that means they're receiving some kind of success with this program, and I think that's great. They don't really know what this is going to look like. Timelines are very hard, which is a frustrating thing to hear, but I mean, you never know with this kind of thing. But they do say sometime 2026, hopefully sooner rather than later. But within the next year and a bit, basically, which is some kind of timeline at least. So, yeah, they say before they kind of roll it out, even after all this playtesting, before they roll it out, like game wide, they would probably do some kind of bespoke content, is what they say. And if you guys remember the strikers and the root quests, you got a little bit of a sneak preview, and they, if I remember right, had kind of a feedback period where anyone that played these could say, hey, this is what we like, this is what we didn't like, and I'm sure they took all of that into account. So I will be looking out for that. I'm very excited to see where this goes. If you guys have any thoughts, please leave them down in the comments. I'd love to hear all that. But I think that's about it for this post. Kind of a short one, but pretty important, and I think a little insight into kind of what Kabam does internally is always good. So we love seeing posts like this, and I can't wait to see where this goes. Yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.